because even if Trident was without cost, even if it were entirely free, we should continue to demand its end and removal, because it is an abomination. On Saturday just past, I was delighted to be part of a campaign against the Arms Trade Conference held to celebrate 20 years of campaigning. And their work is crucial if so many other campaigns are to succeed, because aggression is less likely if you can't get your hands on the means to deliver it. And I'm pleased to join the majority of colleagues across the Chamber who are calling for a shift of UK Government priorities away from funding weapons of indiscriminate mass civilian slaughter to people, to investing in people. And I'm pleased to have the privilege, on behalf of the Green and Independent Group, of supporting my colleague John Wilson's motion calling for an end to the UK's membership of NATO, First Strike Nuclear Alliance, and declaring the UK and its waters a nuclear weapons-free zone. We can, by putting in place a properly funded jobs transition and by moving to a clean, low-carbon energy system and investing in new energies, provide more jobs than the entire arms industry. And if we're serious about the security that we all want, then it's imperative that we do so. We have to remember that security isn't just about military matters. Real security will come from global action on a scale not yet witnessed to address climate change and to cut our emissions urgently. We need to redesign our approach to defence from scratch. We need to develop our ability to promote diplomacy and peace, to lead in conflict resolution, and to address the real threats to security, such as pressures on food, water, land and energy. And it really is time for the UK to get its priorities right, and for us here in Scotland to set a good example. We're focusing on the question of Trident today, but the debate provides an opportunity to analyse our spending priorities more broadly. UK-made weapons have been used in Israel's attacks on Gaza. The UK has supplied all sides in Libya's civil wars. We've armed both Russia and the Ukraine. Our weapons have caused tens of thousands of deaths in Iraq and Afghanistan. Sometimes it feels as if increasing GDP is valued more than life itself. Trident is all about the UK's obsession with punching above its weight. It's absolutely useless in helping us tackle cybercrime, climate change and terrorism, as Neil Findlay pointed out. But how secure do our citizens feel when they're juggling 2 or 3 zero-hours contracts, when the insecure roof over their head is eating up almost all their income, and they've had to visit yet another new local food bank because of an inhuman benefits action? Tell the parents of the 1 in 4 children living in poverty in the UK that investing in nuclear weapons is increasing their security. As we debate further powers for Scotland, it's time to challenge the way we do business and time to challenge the business that we do. Why are government agencies and public funds being used to support firms which make weapons for war? I think that most people in the UK would be appalled if they learned that we have the 6th highest military spend in the world. The 6th highest military spend, yet 1 in 4 children in the UK is growing up in poverty. Priorities? Lockheed Martin has benefited from assistance from the Scottish Government's Regional Selective Assistance Programme to the tune of some £2.5 million. Not because it was required to protect jobs or because the firm was struggling. This is the largest arms company in the world. 80% of his work is for the US Defence Department. And it's moving to Glasgow to allow it to work more closely with the city's university. And we've learned through a Freedom of Information request from NUS Scotland that Scottish universities, including Edinburgh, Glasgow and Strathclyde, have invested millions in arms companies. And I congratulate and thank those students and others campaigning for divestment of public pension funds from this trade. And here in this very city, we have Celex producing radar, drones, surveillance, targeting and weapon control systems. It took part in the Defence and Security Equipment International Fair in London recently, attracting buyers from a range of countries with poor human rights records. Not much of a fair, is it? But the use of this language normalises such activity. But those working in these industries can have a very productive, positive future in other industries. And it's up to us to make that happen. Our talented engineers have skills that are needed in the industries of the future. The oil industry have told us that some 5,500 wells, 10,000 kilometres of pipeline needs to be decommissioned over the next 35 years. All politicians, whether in government or opposition, should be promoting a positive manufacturing strategy for Scotland that's based on promoting industries like renewable energy, not companies that sell equipment to human rights abusers. Engineering UK estimates that the UK will need 87,000 engineers per year. Last year, only just over 50,000 were trained. Presiding Officer, Scotland desperately needs more engineers. We need to invest in the industries of the future. Let's put their skills to a positive and productive use. Let's reject bloated military budgets and prioritise skilled jobs and apprenticeships in a sustainable, ethical economy. Jane's Online itself tells us that the defence market worldwide is worth $1 trillion annually. The energy and environmental market is worth at least 8 times this amount. In closing, I'd like to remind the Chamber of the words of President Eisenhower, whose words were recently brought to my attention by my colleague Patrick Harvey. In his famous Chance for Peace speech, he said, "Every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies, in the final sense, a theft from those who hunger and are not fed." Thank you.
Many thanks.